Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about what do you do about the circumstances in your life that you find to be unpleasant. Now, before we get started, I want you to start thinking about your business, your life, your relationship, your leadership, any aspect of your life that you feel is not going the way you really think it ought to be going. So as you consider that, let's get started. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like the circumstances in your life have taken full control of you, and you almost feel like your back is up against the wall and you cannot make a step forward? In fact, you just feel like you should throw your arm up and do nothing. I have been there. And there are circumstances that get so dire that your brain cuts off and you just sit and don't make a decision at all, probably to your detriment, probably for your good. In a situation like that, when it gets really dire, it is good to seek outside help. Ask for someone's advice. Ask for people to help you. Talk to your spirit guides. Listen to the openings that show up, as they usually do. But don't sit ever in the situation and let the circumstance take control. Now, we're going to talk about everyday life and not dire circumstances. There may be relationships that you have that are not going the way you need to go. Perhaps there's a relationship, maybe, that when you have conversations, it becomes really difficult. And you find that certain words that you may innocently use would trigger the other person. Now, triggers are usually evidence of something that is present in our own personal lives that needs to be healed. So if I'm in a circumstance and I get triggered by what someone says or does, that is likely not something that the other person is responsible for. That is likely something in my own personal life that I need to take control of and I need to resolve and find solutions for. And maybe looking at a business situation, you may have a business and you may have a good worker, someone who is a good contractor, a good employee, and they deliver great products to you over and over again. But it could be that they're always or mostly late with the projects, causing your business to back up and other repercussions to happen. Or there may be a scenario in your leadership where you may feel like you are not commanding the respect of leadership that you feel like you should. That every time you present yourself in a certain situation or a certain scenario, certain things happen. Either people behave a certain way or the results end up exactly the opposite of what you intended for it to be. And so, looking at all three of those situations, your business, relationship, and your leadership, what do you do? Do you just sit and let things slide? Do you let things organically work themselves out? Well, I tell you, you will be waiting for a lifetime. Some things are meant to just let the flow go by. But if there is a situation in your life, in your business, in your leadership that is not going the way you feel it needs to go, I implore you to take charge of the leader in your life. Be the leader in your life. Be the leader in your business. Be the leader of your leadership. Be the leader of your relationship. So instead of sitting and saying that things will organically work out, let it just slide. Step up to the plate and make a choice. Make a decision. What do you want that situation to look like? Meditate on it. Delete anything that's going to cause you to second guess yourself. And instead, record all of the things that you feel need to happen. When I do this, I would like to see this. When I do X, I want to see Y happen. When I have a conversation, I would like the other person to feel heard, and I too would like to feel heard. Then what are the steps that you are going to take, that you are choosing to take to make it happen? Now let's just focus on the relationship part of the conversation, since that's the part that is more expansive, that most people can relate to. So you're having a relationship. Could be someone you really love or care about, and you don't want to sever this relationship. You really want this relationship to work. And so you're having conversations after conversations, and you're saying certain things, and the words you're using might appear innocent to you, and the other person is triggered by something you said. Now, I'm not saying everybody who's triggered, it's their fault. That is not what I'm saying. But in any conversation, the responsibility lies on both sides of the fence, both with the person who is speaking and the person to whom the conversation is directed. We both have responsibilities to speak responsibly and to listen responsibly, and to ask ourselves if this is the way that the conversation was meant to be interpreted, instead of jumping to our conclusions and getting upset. Now, if you've asked yourself that question and it appears that it is that way, there's absolutely nothing wrong in asking the other person if that is who they intended. But at least here in this conversation, you are making a choice. You're going to make a choice to change the trajectory of what is going on repeatedly. You're not going to be comfortable sitting anymore, just allowing things to go the way they need to go. Be the leader in your life. So once you've made that choice about what you want it to look like, then decide the next conversation, this is what's going to happen. Set up your strategic steps mentally. Now, I'm not naive to think that when you speak something and you make that decision in the moment, that it just automatically happens. It typically doesn't, because many of the things that we respond to, or the responses that we have, are subconsciously driven. That means that it's deeply embedded. And if you know much about energy, you know that your subconscious mind is about 40,000 times more powerful and reactive than your conscious mind. So you can sit there and talk all day, but when you're confronted with a situation, the trigger is going to hit and you're going to respond. But all is not lost. It takes a series of efforts for that to change, and it also takes some professional energy healing to move the energy so you can feel more or less restricted to respond the way you want to respond. So make the decision about what you think that's going to look like. And now comes the scenario when you have an opportunity to act. You may flunk the first time. It's okay. Just note and rebrief. Go back and debrief yourself and make another decision. Sometimes I recommend for clients to meditate in a quiet space with no interruption about what you want the interaction to look like. Just lay there or sit there and imagine you and the other person having this conversation, talking and laughing and having a great time. When you're in that meditative state, you are closer to influencing your subconscious mind, which means that when it comes time to act, you will be more likely to produce the action you meditated on than if you did not. So lay and meditate, and even if that fails and falls through, the next time a trigger will likely come in your mind while you're saying something, and you can just either close your mouth and backtrack, or if it has already gone through, just let it be, make peace with it, and make plans for the next time. Be the leader in your life, in your leadership, in your business. So, what will you do? Take the step. Take the action. Don't be a passive bystander in your life. If you really, really want to become the best that you can be, your fullest, most actualized self, then it's important to no longer sit back and let the circumstances lead. Now, there are times when it is important to back off and let it be. If you have made the choice and you have made the effort, and the other person is also willing to communicate and make it happen, then by all means, continue the effort. If, however, your efforts fall on deaf ears, it's ignored, you're overlooked, you're feeling less than, or you're feeling like your efforts are not honored enough, then it's time to back away and then let the situation work its way out. But not until you have taken the leadership steps in your life to make the change. So I want to encourage you, friends, because I have had conversations with loved ones and other people whom I really care about this very same topic, letting the circumstances work out organically. It's never the first way to go. Eventually, if you have made all the effort, you've taken all the steps that you know to take, then now it's time to back away and let it work organically, because everyone has his or her own choices to make in life. And you or me, you or I, cannot force anyone against their wishes. Neither should we ever try. This is a free-willed world. Our spirits deal with us in a free-willed way, and we have our own free will to exercise. So I hope you're honoring that. But I hope that in this brief video that you have some insights. And now what I want you to do is to just take a checklist of your experiences. What is not going the way you feel like it should? Make a choice. What do you want to see it look like? What are some steps that you can take now to make it move or shift in a favorable direction? And I would love to hear your comments if you have any other tips that you have tried that worked for situations that didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Leave them below. And my friends, if you did enjoy this conversation, I invite you to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video. I won't be mad about that. Share the video so others can benefit. And I will see you in our next video next time. Bye for now.